Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ran into you on the C train about a year ago. Recognized you but pretended that I didn't know who you were. You said, excuse me, I don't mean to bother you. And then you said my name, and then I said yours too. Said you're living up on Amsterdam and 85th, teaching just to pay the bills when you're not playing gigs. Take your phone out of your pocket just to follow and a friend a minute for each year until you're gone again. But I could be something if you wanna. Sometimes people say I sound like Maggie Rogers when I sing, and now I learn about you through a screen. Extend the story past 15. Oh, maybe someday you'll know what I mean. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Dad picked me up from the station just outside of town. Local papers said they're tearing our old high school down. Every step I take, I wonder if I might spot you on the street. It's only 2 square miles. Maybe it's meant to be, or at least something. If you wanna, sometimes people say I sound like Maggie Rogers when I sing, and now you're liking all my Instagrams. I take a breath and take a chance, and for a minute forget who I am. I feel like I've been here before, just don't have braces anymore. Am I a fool? Promise I'm cooler now. I'm 24, ignored when I slid into your DMs, losing my mind, playing pretend. Suddenly sat across the room from you again. Maybe Mr. Walsh's class is where it ends. But I could be something if you wanna. Sometimes people say I sound like Maggie Rogers. I'll admit I've always had a crush and I still do. It might sound crazy, but it's true. I even wrote this stupid song for you.
Meet your next favorite artist, Sophia DeLeo. Wow.
Yeah.
Welcome to Note for Note. I'm your host, Pat, next to my co-host, Eddie,
What
and
up?
co-host, Matt, on the guitar as
What up?
usual, or drums or something. Wow, Sophia, we are so happy you're here.
I'm so excited.
We're so excited. That was amazing. You're
gosh,
so
thank
great.
you.
Buddy's so excited.
Oh, look at
you
Buddy.
see?
Oh my God, if he's
no.
in the camera right now, I'm going
Oh,
to
he
throw
is.
up. That's great.
He knows where the camera is.
I wanted to talk about that last song you just performed for us, Maggie Rogers, a little bit,
Yes.
because there's
Yes.
something when I was listening to it on Spotify that let me know instantly that you're someone to look out for, particularly.
Oh.
That song is such a success. Just the version that you performed for us, the music is pretty, the lyrics say something, they say it in a clever way. I'm following along. It's an easy listen. It's the kind of song that has every right to just be that, to be
Yeah.
simple, to do nothing else. So when I went to Spotify to hear it, I expected to just hear a balanced and mixed version of what you
Yeah.
just did for us. But that's not what I heard when I went there. You have a really thick layer of ambience in there.
Yeah.
There's so many layers. It's so meticulous. And the best
Yeah.
part is like, it all strikes you as very, very simple to listen to it. But me knowing what I'm listening for, I could tell there's so much going on in that.
When I recorded Maggie Rogers, it was the first song kind of like leading into this like drama queen like era, where I was writing songs all kind of based on this theme of like, you know, going back and like looking at my teenage years. And I really knew I had done an EP before that where I was really trying to experiment with like pop music. And I just kind of figured out like,
actually, that's like really not what I do well. I am really like at the heart of it all, like a singer, songwriter, like folk musician. And so with like ushering that new era in, I really wanted to create this soundscape that was living in this like folky, like banjo kind of world, but wasn't like so on the nose about it.
Do you have a preference of kind of how your studio session goes, like step by step? Like what would you say you like to start off with?
I have started demoing everything before I take it to the studio just to get my ideas out, and then I'll like put a bunch of reference tracks together too, just so I kind of have an idea of what I want going in. And then when I go in, all of my songs usually start with an acoustic instrument. So starting with recording guitar, starting with recording banjo. Usually I'll record a scratch vocal, but then go back and record vocals after everything is in, because it just changes the way that you sing when you hear it with everything else that's supposed to be in there. That's usually like kind of what the process looks like.
What would you say is your end goal necessarily at the end of the session? Do you think that like you would rather do it all in one session when you go, since you have everything prepared already, or do you think you're going to go back anyway?
Yeah, honestly, I need like a couple sessions, because my brain after about 4-5 hours starts to get like a little mushy. I just like need to go home and like not look at a screen and not think about it, and then come back with like fresh ears.
And also, there's something inherently a lot more vulnerable about the singer-songwriter genres. Like, this isn't just good time, feel good, please dance to it music. You're
like
telling us a story. It's your baby. It's
I'm
so
telling
vulnerable.
my story. I'm telling you a story, but I'm telling you my story most of the time. It's not just, it's a pretty song, but it's like, it is me like coming through the song. So I feel very like strongly about also being in the room the whole time. I'm not a person who likes to like send stuff off and then like have it sent back. Like I need to be there when it's like getting mixed in part. I need to be there when stuff's getting like put in. Like I just need to be there through the whole process.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I released Drama Queen in June of 2023, and pretty much from the minute that I recorded Maggie Rogers, I was writing the rest of the material and then taking it into the studio over like a long period of time, getting that done, promoting that. Then I took it on tour with my good friend Alex Petty, and during the tour, like I had like a death in the family, like I just came to the end of the summer and I was like, I'm so tired from like traveling, emotionally I'm tired, and also Drama Queen was such a big undertaking. It was my whole life for 2 years, and so once it was done, I was like, okay, now what? We're doing this art, but it's like, I don't know. Like, I think that when we're in the thick of like promoting all of this, especially on social media, it's like you forget like the person behind the post is a person, you know? Most of us don't just do this to like make money, you know? It's like we have other like things and responsibilities, and also like personal lives to like attend to outside of like making content all the time.
Something that we haven't really gotten to talk about, we always make the joke about people will be like, oh, coming from musical theater and being a songwriter. And I feel like we're very quick to make those two different, distinct worlds.
The reason that I wanted to like be an actor as a kid was like because I wanted to play pretend and tell this story. I don't care if anybody's watching me. Like, not really. When I perform live, it's not necessarily my favorite thing about making the music. My favorite thing is actually doing the writing and being in the studio and creating the sound. Like the creation of it all is my favorite part of it. It's not the performance of it, actually.
I agree wholeheartedly, and I think that's why I click with your stuff so much. I love the storytelling. I love the idea of making art to reach somebody. So you're going to test drive a song for us that you haven't really shown other people yet.
I am. I'm really hoping that this is the like next single that I release. It is something that is like very near and dear to my heart, and I've been like a little bit nervous to share it. I have like let it sit for a long time and I haven't played it that much, but I thought that this is like a nice intimate space with like, I don't know, to kind of like try it out.
We're really ready for that. I just wanted to warn the audience, there are strong themes of sexual assault in this song, so if that's something that can trigger you, just be warned about that.
Peter got engaged. I feel really weird, 'cause I'm still thinking about his fingers in my mouth on a mattress on the floor. It's been 7 years, and I thought that I was fine. No, it never crossed my mind. It was a funny story, I'd tell it parties every now and then. But the last time I tried to laugh about it, I ended up crying. something tells me I just might be getting there. I'm almost ready, it wasn't my fault. Blacked out in a party house, if a girl falls in, there's nobody around to hear it. Did she make a sound? And can you still call that a... One shot turned to two, two turned into three, blocking out a broken heart. I can't stop it once it starts, 'cause then all the lights go off and everybody leaves, and he follows me upstairs. Close my eyes, it's like I'm right back there. It was a funny story, I'd tell it parties, just a joke to crack. But the last time I tried to laugh about it, I had a panic attack. I don't say the words, not yet, but something tells me I just might be getting there. I'm almost ready, it wasn't my fault. Blacked out in a party house, if a girl falls in, there's nobody around to hear it. Did she make a sound? And can you still call that a good time? The truth is I was never lucid, and I didn't know what I was doing, but I get the feeling maybe he did. Unsteady, unstable, I wish I were able. Would it hurt a little less if I could give it a label? Well, I don't have a clue, I don't know what to say, or to do, or what to feel. How does anybody heal when the wound keeps opening up? Every time I hear that name, and I feel sad and I feel stupid. On the outside, nothing's changed, but Peter got engaged.
Sophia, that was incredible.
Thank you.
And I don't even just mean that's incredible as a song. It's incredible that you're able to do that. That
Thank
you
you
could
so much.
take that and make that. How did it feel just now performing that for a stranger?
Yeah, it's so funny. Ugh, I'm gonna get like a little emotional.
I already did.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
okay.
But I think I just really like go into, ooh, I think I just really go inside myself when I do that song, and I kind of just shut out everybody else. So I don't really feel weird about performing it in front of anybody. But yeah, I don't know. It's funny that you mentioned that, because when I actually wrote this song, I, was clearly really going through it. But I finished half of it, and I threw a clip of it up on TikTok thinking, like, nobody follows me on TikTok. Like, nobody's going to see this. And then it started, like, popping off, and, like, over 100,000 people saw it, and, like, 15,000 people liked it, and all the comments were just like, oh my gosh, this happened to me. And it also took me, like, a really long time to realize. And it was really crazy when it happened, because the song wasn't done. And, like, I didn't really feel like I could be the spokesperson for this. I was still very much processing. But I think now, like, I'm ready to talk about it, and, like, I'm ready to really own it in a way that I wasn't back then.
You've told us that you haven't really gigged with that one, or that you're hesitant to gig with that. Why? I mean, there's a billion obvious reasons, but
No, I mean, recently I've been getting back into the performing space, not playing my own gigs, playing a lot of, like, songwriters rounds and, like, open mics and just, like, little gigs here and there. And I know this is a really good song, and it's a really important song, and I really want people to hear it. But I feel so weird going into, like, somebody else's gig where I'm playing one song, or an open mic. where it's not a space that I feel like I'm in control. But when I'm coming into someone else's space,
Yeah.
I don't necessarily always want to bring it down so far. And also we trigger warned before this because it's a video format, but it's like in a bar, if somebody's triggered by this, it's like they might have to like leave the room. It's tough writing about this kind of stuff because it's like I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable, but I also feel like I have something to say and I like want people to hear it.
When did you decide that this was something that you wanted to write a song about?
So I had spent a year and a half in therapy at that point, working through a lot of, trauma from my teenage years. We get up to me in college and there was like this block. I like could not seem to like really feel any compassion like towards myself in my like late teens, early 20s, and I didn't quite know why. I used to be a little bit of a party girl. I was like drinking way too much and like hooking up with a lot of strangers and thought I was really cute for it. I was kind of mulling about that time and thinking, and then I saw this Instagram post, this guy that I had this very weird hookup experience with in college, got engaged, and I was like, why is this affecting me so much? And then I was like, wait a minute, that like wasn't, with all the tools that I had learned in therapy, I kind of put it together like, oh, that wasn't just like a really weird hookup that made me feel weird. Like I actually was sexually assaulted, but it took me 7 or 8 years to piece that together.
The thing about this song that really strikes me is that even if other people have made a song about this, there's something, and I can't even put my finger on it, there's something that you're doing in it, and there's something about your narrative and the words you choose and the way you choose to tell the story that is so unique and so special. And like, my thing about it is I am not triggered by this. So I can't go out and say how people who are triggered by it might feel in a venue setting. But God, I hope you ask the people who are hosting these shows and you tell them the same way you told us, because it's so beautiful. And for people who would empathize with it, it might mean the world to them to hear you tell.
Yeah.
It's so special, Sophie.
I've played it for a couple people, and the people who have heard it like have all had such like a wonderful response to it that like, I'm getting emotional again, but like that's why I just know that like this is something that I need to like share with the world, the response that people have had to it, and namely the response that like women have had to it. Like all of the like, I've only played this for a few people, but the women that I've played it for is like really that's why I want to put it out there.
Art is so subjective, but that song is art. So if people are showing up to hear art, I implore you to share that with any appropriate crowd.
Thank you.
It's beautiful.
Is there, before we move on to other questions or anything, is there anything we're leaving unsaid about this song?
I think that for me, I like really struggled with the idea of like owning my like identity as like a survivor of sexual assault. I had a really hard time with that. But I think there's so much of that like built into our culture, especially in college these days. I think the reason that it kind of like took off on TikTok for a minute there was because like so many people have this same experience. And I just think it's more nuanced than you give it credit for. The point of this is not to be vindictive.
Yeah.
I don't feel vindictive against, I don't even really feel vindictive against this person personally for me. This song lives in such a gray area. And I think that that's why I really want to give voice to it, because I think there's a lot of people who have an experience that lives in that gray area and they don't have a song that they feel relates to it.
When using songwriting to discuss your own trauma, I wanted to know if there's ever a too soon to talk about something, or if you always find it more cathartic to go right into it.
I think that in terms of like too soon, there's not a too soon time to write about it. I think that like my instinct often when I'm going through something that's really hard. I mean, I started writing songs when I was a teenager, and the big catalyst for me really starting to take it seriously was like I got my heart broken for the first time, and that was really hard. I'd like never been so sad in my entire life.
Right.
And so I immediately started writing about it. It's like the only way that I knew how to cope was to like put it into a song. That's still how I feel oftentimes. Like I told you, like I saw that Instagram post, and I think that like later that day I started writing the song.
Wow.
Like, and it took me like, like a month or so to finish, but it's like I wrote the first half like maybe in like 30 minutes. There is a too soon to perform.
Okay.
I think that like I can write something in the moment, and then like I will not perform it for like a very long time. I like learned this the hard way. One time I wrote a song, it's like a B-side probably. It's like a song that's like related to one of the experiences, but I played it on like a live stream, and I had just written it, and I was really still processing it, and I cried like in the middle of performing it, and I was like, oh, that felt like really bad and like really unprofessional. And so I think that through that I learned like you can write about something really serious to you, but like with songs like Peter Got Engaged, like this is kind of my first time playing it like in like a more serious setting. I've been very precious about it just because like I know myself and I get really emotional. So it's like I need time to process it and sit with the song on my own before performing it. But it's never too soon to write about anything.
Cool.
You just talking about how, how important that timeline is for you. When you're writing lyrics about something, especially something that personal, how much are you just processing and writing what you're feeling, and how much are you considering the audience?
I think that's changed over the years, really. For a long time, I think it really was just like me sometimes like trauma dumping into a song. In 2022, I went to a songwriting workshop that was really helpful for me. One of the teachers there, she gave like a really good piece of advice where she was like, you need to be able to sum up what this song is about in one sentence. And she was like, if you cannot do that, then we don't know what the song is about, and therefore we don't care. Like at the end of the day, like sometimes you need a hook and you need like a verse and you need a bridge and you just need the structure.
Have you ever set out to write a song about something and then you're happy with the song, but did you ever stop short of being satisfied of expressing yourself?
Ooh, that's such a good question. I mean, I feel like I don't write down any of my songs like physically anywhere. They're all in voice memos on my phone. I think that I have plenty of songs that they're finished. But I'm like, I know I can say that better. I want to tell the story, I guess, as clearly as I can. It's not, we were talking about like how I don't really write to entertain. I don't, but I want to make sure that I'm telling a story that is clear and that hits, and you're not confused about what I'm saying at the end of the day.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for coming. We're so happy to have you. We had the best time with you today.
Thank you guys so much for letting me get vulnerable and cry on camera.
Thank you for being willing to get so vulnerable. Are you kidding?
Of course.
Great.
Normalize crying.
Catch Sophia DeLeo's music streamable on all of your typical streaming services. And would you do us the honor of playing us out with one last song?
Yeah.
Also, I'd like to say thank you for allowing me the honor of being able to play with you.
This was so fun. Great. Yeah, this is my song Drama Queen. You can stream it on my EP, Drama Queen.
Thursday afternoon, just got home from school. Couple hours by yourself, playing guitar in your room. Notebook by the bed, everything you should have said. All the thoughts and secrets you keep spinning around in your head. I'm not gonna tell you to do something different. Spent too many years saying you were to blame. You're not a drama queen, you're just 17. And it's okay that you care. No, don't you dare feel ashamed. Crying in the car, you know who you are. Tell yourself it's fine, it's not. You can see his house from your backyard. Won't be what she planned, and nobody will understand. And you will say it's sweet the way that he hurts you, but then holds your hand. I'm not gonna tell you that you should have listened. Spent too many years thinking it was your fault. You're not a drama queen, you're just 17. And it's okay that you're sad. No, you don't have to convince anybody you're not. I am with you, even now. There they're gonna roll their eyes and you're gonna shut your mouth, but you are stronger than you know. You're gonna do all the things and go all the places you always said that you'd go. And I love you. Somebody's thinking of you, baby. You're never alone. And I am so sorry that I put you through it, but I am so proud of you for holding on. You're not a drama queen, you're just 17.